Then I want to talk to you about Onchain and France, the France chain to Citibank headquarters. And this is where some of the stuff that I was talking to you about with the stellar email research, with the peer-to-peer network that Chen Rong was talking about in San Fran, this is where it really gets interesting, because this email research is not just about emails. If you look at the pictures, for example, Professor Chen Wenjung is here, and she is directly linked with LawChain. And what they're showing you in those images is some of the technology that can be done on these Androids. And again, it relates back to Chen Rong's presentation in that it's the world's first commercial chain of electronic chain deposit evidence. And I want to stress that. Chen Wenjung, LawChain. We know about the email work. We know about Stella's research in relation to email financial railing capacities, peer-to-peer. And now we have evidence that they're working directly with banks in evidence chain deposits. And so it's not just about emails. This is about money. This is about transactability. This is about going peer-to-peer. And what Da Hongfei said in Thailand makes perfect sense. Peer-to-peer systems like this are entirely legal in China. And NEO is entirely legal in its operation design. So this article is really, really relevant. So it is reported that Onchain team from 2014 onwards focused on the design and development of blockchain platforms. And what is really interesting too is that Microsoft and France Greater China established the first franchise chain of large-scale commercial e-deposit blockchain. So this is really massive because you can see these direct links with big and significant banks, specifically with Onchain's underlying blockchain technology. And this is where it gets really cool. That underlying technology is DNA, and that DNA protocol was born out of NEO. It wasn't the other way around. So the capacities for this to happen in NEO are very clearly possible. Very clearly. Another article shows that in cooperation with Microsoft, Onchain wants to help blockchain enterprises in the business through small ants. Again, this is a translation from Chinese, but it's meant to be NEO and blockchain technology services. So what this article, the reason why I put this here is because Da Hongfei is involved, is written up, stating a few key things. And he talks about things like the blockchain serving as a register of transactions in which asset changes will occur. He talks about the liquidation of blockchain sacrificed some of the non-critical information records, but achieved better throughput, lower latency, flexibility, and user experience. So it was I think also it goes into talk about KYC and AML, which if you're not sure is about anti-money laundering and knowing your customer services of trust, and we know how that relates to ontology. But this article, again, just reinforces the interconnections with Microsoft as well. So very interesting read if you want to check this out. So some of the things that Da did talk about here is that he put forward the concept of blockchain 1 and 2. So now we're in the era of 2.0 as smart contracts, whereby, you know, again, coupled with the capacities of technology, cloud technology and Elastos, we're moving away from simply having smart contracts on a blockchain. So that's really cool. And you can look more into these articles, but they definitely show some connections. Here is a really interesting one. Many people aren't aware of the direct correlation between government support and Onchain, but this shows proof of that because Onchain was the first to pass the National Blockchain Standards test. And Onchain, if you're not aware of, has had several meetings with the government and with significant ministerial representation. And this is a certificate to sort of show you that Onchain is taken very seriously by the government, and when you recognize the interconnections between Onchain and NEO, indirectly there is that support because Onchain cannot flourish and function without both of these ecosystems working in correlation and in support of each other. So really exciting stuff coming from that. Then I found this article again to confirm that mailbox work that they'd done. So here, the Civil Procedure Law of China stipulated that the information formed or stored in electronic media, such as online chatting records, blogs, microblogging, mobile phones and text, electronic signatures, which is very important for banks, domain names and the like, may be regarded as evidence in civil cases. So again, it's utilizing that law chain in direct correlation with what Ontology could do as a public blockchain for NEO in providing some of that information and distributing that data and identity content. On top of that is the potential certainly for, again, a financial component. We've seen that now from evidence coming from places like banking interconnections with banks in France and also in China itself. So a really good read if you want to know more about some of these things. And again, it talks about Ali Yuan, and it talks about it in its joint relationship with the law chain. And if you want to read more, it also says things like, in August 2016, with the joint efforts of Microsoft in China, Onchain initiated the establishment of the world's first large-scale federation of commercial electronic evidence blockchain, the France chain, and the first in China that explored the application of blockchain technology in legal scenario steps. The Ali Yuan Cloud mail storage system or products bottom support its the Ali Yuan Cloud mail storage products bottom support is provided by LawChain. Again, really strong correlation, absolute connection with Onchain, which is, you know, it's just a really exciting find to find this information and how it relates beyond email. So if you want to go more into it, you can go and check out some of the things I've posted. I'll try and provide you with this whole PowerPoint as well, so you can go in and check out how it relates to electronic evidence research, the legal chains, and the financial sector as well. So really exciting. This is some more evidence from Da. You can see a presentation he's made. This was presented on the 20th of October last year, whereby on-chain, it shows the correlation between Alibaba and on-chain. So it's just more and more evidence building up of this bank that they created. Moving to BAT, layout blockchain, Tencent Ali strides forward, Baidu works slowly. All three of these guys are major players. Again, that's why they're called the BAT, and they're all looking towards the internet as significant investment. And I want you guys to know about that because we can see a correlation potentially with Elastos here. So the Paradise Papers is another thing I want to show you. In the Paradise Papers, there was a lot of research done to propose the idea of Li Jun, who's got over a $7 billion fortune, and he's one of China's richest men. And it seems from the Paradise Papers that there are significant interconnections with Jihan Wu. And you can explore this further, but if you look down here on the other side, you can see Bitmain Technologies holding company is regarded as part of the Paradise Paper database. So that's really significant when you can see intercorrelations and interconnections with someone like this, with Li Jun and then Jihan Wu, and then you see Jihan Wu is connected as one of the launch members of Elastos. It's very, very interesting. So if you want to know more, you could check out the Beijing Shangtong Wujing Consulting Company, because apparently they are really important to the Paradise Paper research that was done. The next thing is unpacking Tencent, because we have to find this evidence. Tencent Cloud announced the commercialization of blockchain technology into a substantive stage. So again, this reinforces how general managers of Tencent Financial Cloud have really gone ahead, at the request of the investors of Tencent, of the CEOs, to really build up the capacity of Tencent. And one of the things they say, according to stats, is that more than 24 countries around the world are investing right now in blockchain technology, and 80% of banks will start blockchain projects by 2017. More than 90 central banks will join the blockchain discussions, and over 90 companies will join Blockchain Alliance. At the end of 2016, as they say, blockchain was first written in the 13th five-year plan of the national informatization. So these are really important, and again, Tencent Cloud adhering to the principles of open and sharing to build a large blockchain ecosystem for the purpose of building end-to-end multi-point connections and other access methods, not limited to the EndNode platform. Users are free to access Tencent Cloud blockchain service. So their focus is on cloud, and because of that, we're really paying attention now to Elastos. So one of the things that Tencent are focused on is what's called the TBAAS. And what that is, it's essentially a platform service system, whereby Tencent blockchain as a service is a big focus for the future in how they operate. So again, Elastos, not on blockchain, but functioning and providing for a blockchain-driven internet, utilizing and allowing the dApps to work on the cloud itself. So it's just reconceptualizing how the internet's going to work as a cloud. Really interesting. Now, this article was fascinating, because if you look at this comes directly from Tencent, and if you look at this map, you've got the top section there is that service from Tencent, and look where it drops into. This is gold. It drops into Hyperledger, massive consortium, drops into Corda, that's R3. And we saw that Elastos was meeting with R3, banking. And then we see the EEA, that's the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. They are three massive players, and Onchain is a member of the EEA. Onchain is a member of the Hyperledger group. So this is really significant because then it drops down into other operations. So it's worth definitely checking out this article.